I'm just underwhelmed at the fact that they think that all these martialists need to suddenly become tactical masterminds like this. I don't think that that makes any of them interesting, honestly. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the way that this barbarian's looking. I would love a barbarian that's like, hit stuff hard, you know what you're trying to do, like what the barbarian should feel like, you know? Yeah, I feel like every class not coming with these. Okay, let me just kind of say the way that I have this pictured, at least the way that I'm designing this for Vagabond, is the class roles as like they keep saying they're trying to reinforce in here, right? Barbarian is a warrior. That would mean that warriors are probably going to specialize in the attack action. Whereas like experts are probably going to be your skill monkeys and going to get like expertise like features. Mages are likely going to be getting their, spell casting and similar, whatever feature. Yeah. I don't really think every single class needs to have this incredibly rich skill proficiency like feature within the class itself. I think that there's plenty of flavor to be had in the fact that you are good at hitting shit with an axe, because that's unique to fantasy. That kind of character doesn't exist outside of fantasy. So like, if you want like, you can flavor that however you want. You don't need to ham-fist it on people everywhere. Here's my thing. I think I said this in one of the like recent conversations you and I were having, Ked, but like I guess I'll bring it up here again. Dungeons and Dragons is a tactical role-playing game. There are games out there that are dramatic role-playing games where the idea of you getting features and stuff for your character is to evoke how you're going to roleplay them. But in tactical games like D&D, you want your class to be giving you the stuff that's telling you what you do in a fight. And like, there are exploration features and stuff that you can evoke, yes, but like, those tend to be things that experts need to specialize in. That's part of the trade-off there. There's a reason why Rogue does not get extra attack. It's just, it's odd. And I think that this is going to be the problem of what this new edition is going to be, is that they're trying to make D&D two separate kinds of games. It is a tactical tabletop game that they're trying to turn into a dramatic tabletop game. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And it's turning every class into page bloat.
Well, they want people to feel like, and I don't want to blame them for it because they're awesome in their own right. I watch them sometimes, stuff like that. But things like Dimension 20 in Critical Role, they want people to feel like, oh, cool, this is a narrative game. We can get really into it, which you can make any RPG a narrative game if you try hard.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, people actually look at the rules and go, "Whoa, this is a different game than I thought this was going to be."
Could I name you some great dramatic fantasy TTRPGs? Blades in the Dark, I think, is a better like dramatic system that still has combat like coupled in. Pretty much anything powered by the apocalypse. I know Dungeon World is the thing that a lot of people recommend. I think that Dungeon World could try to solidify its mechanics a bit harder in a future edition. I would be happier with it in that case. Dramatic fantasy isn't really a major... It's not a genre that has a whole lot of people really covering it. But if I'm like to name like... Let me kind of go back a little bit and say just like a dramatic TTRPG. Alice is Missing is like the dramatic TTRPG. I would even say that like Vampire the Masquerade is most likely leaning in on drama and narrative over combat, right? Games like those. But I think if you wanted to go in on the idea of we're playing the dungeon crawler and getting the drama of a game like one of those, what do you think, Ked? Like maybe Dungeon World? It's just, it's not
D&D.
D&D.
I'm not Dungeon World out of the player Powered by the Apocalypse. Dungeon World was one of my least favorites because they try to be sort of D&D, but also powered by the, I don't know. That one's not the greatest example, but yeah, you can have dramatic, like you like playing Fate or Cypher or most Powered by the Apocalypse or anything like that. It's a very different style of play versus what is a 99% tactical combat rules RPG, which is what D&D, Pathfinder, and similar are.
Right.
These are meant to have some role play layered over top of I don't want to say board game, but like layered over top of a very structured system that you'd be following.
Yeah. Okay. So I just don't think that D&D needs to go that route. I think that like the games I always find myself appreciating way more are the ones that know exactly what the fuck they're about and they like achieve that. Like Mark Borg, they knew what the fuck they were about and they went for it. They had a vision, they achieved it. Into the Odd, fucking Chris McDowell had a vision, he achieves it, right? Knave, fucking Knave, Shadow Dark. There's so many of these games that came out that it's like, look, I'm not trying to be the thing that is like getting rid of the big contender or whatever. I just know what I'm trying to do here and doing it well, right? That tells me that they have a vision for it.
Well, we've talked about this before. Unfortunately, like 5e could have good bones. It could be good if they redid it, but they've crowdsourced it.
Yep.
Is the problem. They're trying to please everybody and they get this.